Hello everyone and thank you very much for joining me in this tutorial. So in this lecture we are going to talk about the steps that one needs to follow for deploying or hosting a Spring Boot application on a Windows IIS server. So this IP which you're seeing on the top over here in the URL part of the browser is nothing but the public IP address of this Windows IIS server which I have deployed on AWS. Okay, now how I was able to successfully deploy this application, this Spring Boot application on a Windows IIS server, that is what this video is all about, right? Those steps I will be covering in this video. Again, let me tell you in the beginning only, it's not complex at all. Okay, it's a very simple process. If you know how to create a Spring Boot application, you can easily deploy it on a Windows IIS server. How the proxy IIS can be created, okay, proxy for your website can be created on IIS, that is also something that we will cover in this video. So stay tuned with me, do not skip any part of this video and watch this video completely from the beginning till the end. Okay, so I started with creating a Spring Boot application on my local first. Let me just brief you about the application. So this is the folder, my Spring Boot app, in which my Spring Boot code is present. So I created a POM file. Okay, this is what I have in the POM file. And don't worry about the code. I will be sharing the code also with you guys in the description section below in the form of a link. Right, so you can take it and then you can also try to set it up on a Windows IIS server. So this is what I created first, a POM file. Then I created a source folder inside which I created a main folder, then a Java name folder, com, example, and then my Spring Boot application name folder. So this is the structure, directory structure of the source folder. Okay, then there is this folder called my Spring Boot app application, right? It's a default folder, as you guys know. And then we have this camera control. Okay, so here I've defined a route. Fine. So this is a controller, which I've defined, and then there is something called sources in which I defined a templates name folder in which the login pages code is present. So HTML and CSS, whatever has been used for designing this page, everything is there in this particular file called camera.html, and that is what I'm using over here under camera controller. See, it is returning this camera. Camera is nothing but this template, right? So basically it's a model view controller framework. That is what we are using. Okay, and then what I did is, after creating all this, I simply fired this command called, just a second, I simply fired this command called mvn clean Spring Boot run. So if I execute it, let me just show you what's gonna happen. So in this target, if you see, because I already have this folder created, that is the reason. Okay, it's getting created again. So whenever you fire this command, what happens is it creates for you a target folder, okay, in which it automatically creates for you all these folders and the relevant files, the required files. Fine. So as you can see, the application is up right now, and if I give it a refresh, so it's running currently on port number 8080. So by default, Spring Boot takes port number 8080 on local or on any server or any device. Right. Now our task is to host it on a Windows server, Windows IIS server. So what I did is I simply came on my AWS console. Under this instances, I came on launch instances. And then over here, what you have to do, you have to create a Windows IIS server. So you can simply put a name for your IIS server, let's say Gaurav test, and then you can come down. Here you have to select Windows, and then you have to come down and select a free tier, Windows. So I used Windows Server 2019 base. If you want, you can use some standard one also, depending upon your requirement. Okay, once you're done with that, you can simply come and create a key pair. How you will do it? You can click on create new key pair, link. This is what you're going to come across. Here you can put a name like this, okay, and simply download the PEM file. So this is something which you will require for generating the password for the RDP, okay, when you will be logging into this server through RDP. So just click on create key pair and it will give you a .pem file, and then once you're done with that, you can allow both HTTPS and HTTP traffic and simply go and launch the instance. Okay, now after launching the instance, you have to wait for a couple of minutes, like 4 to 5 minutes you have to wait, and you will see the instance coming up like this. Okay, let me just come out of my instance for now. I'm going to disconnect from the remote session. Okay, now once the instance is there, you have to connect to the instance. How you will do it? Just come on RDP client and then you have to download the remote desktop file. Okay, so you can download it anywhere. Once you're done with downloading it, just click on get password, and then here you have to upload that .pem file. So this is the one which I downloaded when I was creating my instance. Decrypt password, and this is what you're going to get. So this is the password of my Windows IIS server instance. Copy this password, save it somewhere, just click on that RDP file you have downloaded and paste the password over here. Click on remember me, okay, and then you can give all the required permissions. Okay, so there was no certificate permission it asked me for because I already logged into this portal. So this is what you're going to come across. Fine, and let me just enlarge it. Okay, so let me give it a refresh. And now what you have to do, you have to download a couple of softwares. Okay, so the first thing that you have to download on your Windows IIS server is the Java. Okay, and how you will do it? So this is a link which I'm going to share in the description section. Okay, let me just copy and paste it over here. So this is going to be your Java download. Okay, so you can simply download Java and set it up on your Windows IIS server. Now once you're done with installing it, okay, what is going to happen and how you will install it, let me just tell you that also. So when you click the link which I'm going to share in the description section below, it will take you to this page, and this is the one that you have to download, and it's an exe file, so you just have to double click and simply run it to install it. And once you're done with installing it, what's going to happen? So when you will run this command java -- version in your CMD, it will give you the Java version. Okay, so it's 23.01 which I downloaded. Then the next thing that you have to download is the Apache Maven. Okay, because this is the one that we're using for running the Spring Boot project. So basically it's nothing but a software development kit, you can say. So this is the one that you have to download, Apache Maven. Okay, once you're done with downloading it, simply come and unzip it. How you'll do that? Just come on extract all and simply extract everything from the zip folder. Double click this, then come inside this bin folder, copy this whole path and simply come in this environment. Okay, Windows environment, and then come on system variable path, come on edit, simply click on new and paste the path over here. So this is the one, if you see, this is the one for me. It can be different for you, so you just have to paste the path over here so that your Windows can recognize and locate Maven on your device. Once you're done with that, you have to reopen CMD and just type mvn -- version. So this, if your CMD is able to recognize, it means that you have successfully installed Maven also for Windows IIS. Okay, what is the next software that you have to install? You have to install URL rewrite. Okay, remember this thing. This is again something that you have to install. First of all, let me just copy this and paste it over here. So this also I'm going to give you Maven download. Fine. Then we have URL rewrite. So this is something for creating proxy, reverse proxy. Okay. And you have to simply download it. How you'll do it? Simply come on this website, come right below over here, and this is what you have to download. So because my Windows IIS server is of 64-bit, that is the reason I downloaded this. If yours is of 32-bit, you can go ahead and download this. Simply install it just by double clicking it and running the software. And what will happen when you're done with setting up the IIS server, you will see, just a second. Okay, so here you will see this URL rewrite coming like this. Okay, then what is the next thing? This is the third software that you have to install, and now this is the fourth one. So its name is Microsoft Application Request Routing. Sometimes what happens is when you're done with installing URL rewrite, when you open it and then you come on add rules, so it doesn't show you the option of creating the proxy. See, in my case also it's the same. It's not showing me anything like proxy or create server proxy. So that is the reason in those cases what the user has to do, he has to download this Microsoft Application Request Routing. So this helps him to create a proxy of his website. Let me just copy and paste the path of this also for you guys, and URL rewrite path is this one. Okay, I hope you guys are able to understand. Fine. So all these you have to download on your Windows IIS server. Now what's the next thing that you have to do? So from here you can simply download it and you can install it. And then we have to come here in your server manager. Okay, the next step that comes is setting up the server manager of Windows IIS server. How you will do it? Simply type server manager in the search box, and this is what you will come across. Once you're here, you can simply come on manage, add roles and features. Okay, it's going to take a bit of time. As you can see on the top, it's getting loaded. Fine. By the time it's getting loaded, let me just show this Word file to you. So what I've done is, even if you are new to Spring Boot, okay, or you are a professional and you want to learn Spring Boot, or you want to host it on a Windows IIS server, all the steps which I'm showing you in this video are mentioned over here. Okay, so if you want to create a basic Spring Boot application and then you want to put it on Windows IIS server, that also you can do with these steps over here. So I'm going to share the link of this document also with you guys in the description section below. Don't worry about anything. Every single thing which I'm showing to you guys will be shared with you in the form of a link. Okay, now you have to come on next, just do next, and then once you're there on this screen, server roles, you have to select this web server IIS. Remember this thing, because this is the thing which is required for hosting any website on Windows IIS server. Just select it. You can select this also, Windows Deployment Services. I'm showing you all the options which I selected for my IIS server. Then IIS hostable web client. Okay, and I think that's it. Yeah, so once you're done with that, you can install all the features. Let me just click this also for now, because I have to show it to you. Okay, I think this is fine. Okay, let me just cancel it. So you have to install everything, whatever you have selected. Once you're done with installing everything, what is the next thing you have to do? You have to simply come on your local where your Spring Boot code is present. So this is my Spring Boot application and it is present inside my Spring Boot app named folder, right? This one. Now here you have to run this command called mvn clean package. So what it will give you? It will give you a jar file inside target named folder. Let me just show it to you. So the jar file which this command will create for us, we will use that for hosting this application on Windows IIS server. Okay, we are not going to put everything on that server. We just want that jar file. Okay, so this is the jar file that you have to simply copy and put inside the www.root folder of the C drive. Now where you'll find it, let me show it to you. So once you're done with configuring the IIS server, this server manager, sorry, so automatically this initpub folder will get created. You have to come inside it, come inside www.root, and that's where you have to paste your jar file. So there were a couple of more folders and files which were there, by default present when we configured server manager. All that thing I have deleted, or I think I've moved it to this default named folder. So I created another folder default, and whatever was there by default here in this folder, I just moved it in this folder. So currently I have only this jar file, okay, in the www.root folder. Once this file is there, what you have to do, you have to check whether this application is running or not. So this is a command that you can use for running the jar file. Java-jar, and then what is the name of the jar file? It is this for me. That's the reason I've chosen this. You have to simply click the enter button. Once you execute it, here in this Chrome, you will see the application coming on port number 8080. Let me just run this. So as you can see, my application is running. Now here it is saying error accessing the camera. Okay, I have not updated the code. I'll update it afterwards. So at present, my application is running on port 8080. Right. Now, once the application is up on localhost port number 8080, the next thing that comes is configuring the reverse proxy. How you will do it? So this is a reverse proxy which I created. Now, how you will do it? Let me show it to you. So you have to select this server, come down, and this is what you will get: application request routing. So this you will not find by default under IIS. Once you're done with installing this software called Microsoft Application Request Routing, this option will automatically come under IIS. You can simply double click it, and then you can come down. Okay, here you will find this server proxy settings. Click it and just enable the proxy first. Come down, and here you will find there was an option actually coming over here, URL rewrite. Yeah, this one. So this is why this is coming, because we installed URL rewrite also, if you remember in the beginning. Just click it. Okay, but for now we can simply go to application request routing. You have to come on server proxy settings, enable proxy, and then what is the next thing you have to do? Come down, and here you have to create a reverse proxy for your website which is running on localhost port 8080. So what it will do, it will take the traffic from this port and push it to your site's port. Okay, when I say site port, we will create a site over here and we will map it to port number 8080. So this reverse proxy, what it will do, it will simply take the traffic from this localhost 8080, okay, and it will push it to port number 80. That's it. Okay, and we'll be able to see our application live on port number 80 afterwards. Okay. Now, once you're done with configuring this, automatically when you will come over here in your URL rewrite, you'll see this server proxy. Okay, and then here when you will come, so you have to make sure that this rewrite action type is rewrite, and this rewrite URL is like this. So it should be localhost port number 8080 R:1. Why it is R:1? I'm really sorry, I didn't experimented on this. I didn't learn about this. Maybe it's my fault, sorry. You can search it online, right, and let us know in the description section below why this is R:9. R is for route, I guess, right, and 1 You can use 0 also if I'm not wrong here, but just search for it and let us all know about why we use R:1 over here. Okay, that is one thing. Now, the next thing that comes is we have to create a site. So how you have to create a site? Simply add website, and here you can name your website with a random name. Let's say Spring Physical Path. So we are going to choose www root as the physical path. Why? Because that's where our jar file is present. So you can simply choose this, and here you can choose port number 80 and simply click OK. Fine. So once you're done with that, you may come across an error saying that port number 80 is already occupied. So what happens is, by default, this default website takes port number 80. So you can what you can do, you can either remove this default website or you can simply edit the bindings for it. So what I did was I edited the binding for default website and just change the port number to 807. So it was 80 earlier, now it is 807 because 80 I'm using for my Spring Boot application, right? So this is what is something you can do. Now the next thing that comes is enabling the TCP traffic on port number 8080 so that it can communicate with port number 80 of our IIS server. How you will do it? Simply come on Windows Defender. Okay, simply open it, and now you have to create an inbound rule for port number 8080. Absolutely. So what you can do, you can simply select port, come on next, and here you can specify the port number. Let's say 8080. Come on next, and then allow the connection. Come on next. You can select all the three. Come on next, and simply name this rule with some name and click finish. Once you're done with that, rule like this will get created. Okay, and once this rule is there, your port 8080 will be able to communicate things to port number 80 of IIS server. And once this communication is established, you will see your website live on the IP address of your Windows IIS server like this. Okay, now we are getting an error over here. Just a second. So here we are getting an error. See, accessing the camera requested device not found. Now why it is happening? Because this file is not the updated one. Okay, this jar file is not the updated one. I updated the jar file by running this command. Okay, if you remember, I ran this command some while back, and I made some changes in this code before starting shooting this video. So now these changes have to be migrated to the live server so that our live application doesn't show any kind of error, right? So what we can do here is we can simply copy this jar file. Just a second. I'll have to come here, not here, but in Java, and then simply copy this jar file, and here I have to come inside this www root folder and simply paste the jar file over here like this. Okay, so it is going to take some time. Let me just put the video on pause and restart it. Okay, once the jar file gets copied. Okay, so it has been copied successfully and I've stopped the server. Now, once the jar file is there, what is the next thing that you have to do? You have to simply on this, application again, like this. Okay, and once it is up, we can come back on this localhost. Let me see whether this error will remain or it goes away. Okay, so it has gone away. Now we are not able to see that error anymore. So that's how you can update the file also on your live server. And once you're done with that, I'll tell you something. Here also, if you see on this slide, the code has got updated. Fine. So this is how you can update the live code. You don't have to move all the files, just update the jar file, push it to live and restart the server. That's it. Right. So this is it from my side in this lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed it. In case you come across any issues while setting up the Spring Boot application of yours on IIS server, let me know in the comment section below. And also please give me the feedback of this video in the comment section below. In case you have some more issues or if you have some ideas to share, please do let me know in the comment section so that I can shoot the videos in that too. That is it from my side. Bye bye, take care, and have a great day, guys.